Yo, yo, yo.
Coming to you live from Philly. It's the number one rated Paulie and Tony Fusco show.
Yo, yo,
As always, Paulie Fusco here with Tony Fusco and Tony.
Yo.
Last week, just a terrible bottom of the barrel guest, Jason McIntyre. And, we got people coming up to us all week. They're saying, why'd you bring that fool on the show? We didn't. Our partners over there at Fox Sports Radio, a new partnership we forged, they begged us.
Yeah, they were crying,
I'm going to give you a little inside baseball, people, on what goes on here. You see what these networks do. There's a business term called cross-promotion. So what they do is they take a no talent like McIntyre and they put him on a show that everybody's heard of, our show, to promote the show he's on that needs viewers, The Herd, where he's a sidekick. So,
exactly.
That's what's going on there.
Yeah. This is like Cheers, which was a great show, when they tried to spin off Frasier, which was a terrible show, which I never understood at all. Not funny at all.
Terrible show, not funny. Horrible show. Anyway, this week, hopefully a better guest, Tony. We're going to talk about Eagles backup quarterback Gardner Minshew, who's been in the news. He's taken a little criticism lately, but we're going to talk to another Washington State quarterback, went to the same school, one you may have heard of. He wasn't as good, but he went there.
Nope.
Had some success in the NFL, very limited. Drew Bledsoe. But before we get into the show, Tony, something we must address up top. People, they want us to address the situation that unfolded in the Monday night game between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. But out of respect for all the parties involved, and because there's nothing we can add, we are not going to address the topic any further on this show. We've heard a lot of people say that, they want the next week's games postponed, or, possibly just end the season and have a break before the playoffs. And, we don't want to weigh in on that either, do we, Tony?
No. We know a lot of people feel strongly that there shouldn't be any more regular season games and that we should just go off the current playoff seeding as it is, wherever the teams may be seated currently. And I haven't checked the most recent up-to-date standings, but, we don't want to weigh in here, but if that's the way it has to be, then maybe that's the best and fairest option moving forward for all parties involved.
Well said, Tony, and we're just going to leave it at that because, we got a lot of other topics, not as important, but other topics to get to, predictions that we nailed right on the head as usual. So it's time to bring back one of our most popular segments where we go over everything that we nailed on the head. It's where Paulie and Tony were right.
Where Paulie and Tony were right.
All right, the first thing that we nailed bango on the head, we've been saying this for years, Tony, haven't we? College quarterbacks are simply too young to handle all that pressure. Well, finally, a team is listening to us, taking our advice, the Georgia Bulldogs, who are now going all the way to the college football championship behind their 25-year-old quarterback, Stetson Bennett. And, Tony, this comes as absolutely no surprise to us. We've been saying it for years. The most valuable trait a quarterback can have is experience, right? And that's why we've never understood why these colleges keep going out and finding quarterbacks who have never played any college football. It makes no sense. Wouldn't it be smarter to bring in a more experienced quarterback, someone who's been in college for maybe 6 or 7 years? Isn't that right, Tony?
Absolutely. I've never understood why these colleges put so much pressure on their students to graduate. From a strategic point of view, wouldn't you want your players to fail 2 or 3 years so you can have a team of NFL-ready 27-year-olds? That makes a lot more sense to me.
Terrific point, Tony.
Where Paulie and Tony were right.
All right, another thing we got totally right, even though this is kind of a downer. We said when Nick Foles went to the Colts that it was certainly not going to go as well as it did when he was with the Eagles. And sure enough,
we called it.
We were 100% right about that, Tony. Just 2 games into his starts there. First he started on Christmas versus the Chargers. Then he goes up against the Giants, and he goes down with a season-ending injury. Now, people are saying, this is Nick Foles. He's injury-prone. It's been the story of his whole career. He gets injured literally every season. But, these people, they're just trying to distract from the real story, aren't they, Tony?
100%. Don't let the media fool you. This is all on the Colts. You know, I've consulted several attorneys in the tri-state area, and they unanimously agree that Nick Foles should sue the Colts for malpractice and other labor violations and malfeasancies.
Absolutely.
First of all, the Colts organization forced him to work over the holidays, which is unfair labor practices. And in any business, employees with his level of seniority always get the holidays off. Second, the Colts spent more than $42 million on their offensive line this offseason. Now they've allowed the second most sacks in the entire NFL. So we have to ask, where'd that money go? If I'm Nick Foles, I'm hiring a third-party investigator to find out, because it's clearly a case of corporate malfeasancy.
Just absolutely terrific journalism there by you, Tony. All you kids out there, watching, want to know how do you get big in this business?
Yeah.
That's what you call research.
Take
and
notes.
Yeah. Great job, Tony.
Thank you.
Where Paulie and Tony were right.
Final one here. When the Washington Commanders decided to buck a troubling NFL trend of teams hiring babies to be head coaches, and they went out and hired veteran Ron Rivera, we were basically the only people who applauded the decision, right, Tony?
Yeah.
Because we know that few people know more about football and what's going on in the sport than Ron Rivera.
Yep.
And well, this week, Ron Rivera came under fire because at the team's post-game presser after that loss to the Browns, Ron Rivera appeared to be unaware that his team might be about to get eliminated from playoff contention. Now, people are saying, this just shows Rivera is out of touch, that he's lost, whatever, confused. But Tony, those people are totally wrong, aren't they?
Absolutely. In fact, I've never understood why coaches ever tell their players they could be eliminated from the playoffs. Wouldn't they be happy if they didn't know they could be eliminated? Yep. Wouldn't it be better to dupe them into thinking they still had a chance at a Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
I mean, did you see how well the Broncos played against the Chiefs? Clearly, their new coach didn't tell them that they literally had zero chance of making the playoffs and that they would be better off forfeiting the game. And it worked wonders.
Great points, Tony, all around. Just
Thank you.
Terrific. And, on the subject of a team going to the playoffs, we're going to discuss the Eagles and their two great quarterbacks with an okay quarterback who's coming on the line right now. So let's bring him on the Fusco Satellite Network.
Fusco Satellite Network.
All right, this guy, took the Patriots to the Super Bowl in 96, lost to the Packers. Got a ring with them too in 2001, debatable. Four-time Pro Bowler, number one overall pick, yada, yada. Let's just get him in here. Drew Bledsoe, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
What's happening, guys? How's it going?
Well, we brought you on for a few reasons. We're going to start with the main one, of course, that has everyone talking. You went to Washington State, of course, just like Eagles backup quarterback Gardner Minshew. Now, people are saying, these morons out there, that Minshew isn't good because he lost his 2 games as a starter. But, we went and compared his stats to yours, and let's just say, he blows you out of the water in virtually every category. Let me just read a couple of them to you. He has a career passer rating of 93.2. Yours was a lowly 77.1. Minshew's completion percentage, 62.8. Yours, ouch, 57.2. People seem to respect you for some reason, but when you hear that, don't you agree that Minshew is a better QB than you ever were and, deserves more respect and acclaim? More than you?
Well, I mean, I understand your argument, and I appreciate your ire. Sorry, I won't use complicated words. I appreciate your dislike.
I've got a few complicated words to describe you.
I will tell you that. I mean, just on mustache alone, Gardner's he's doing pretty good.
I see where you're going with this. You want to take it,
but it's play too. Don't change the subject.
Change the subject here. Yeah. We're not here. This is not the facial hair hour. So let's talk. Yeah. Let's talk numbers. Be a professional.
Yeah, numbers to numbers.
Gardner's playing awfully well, man. I'm proud of him. I will tell you that things are a little more difficult when a team earns the right to pick first overall. There's a little bit of a learning curve there for the whole team. So that's my excuse. But yeah, Gardner definitely best quarterback ever to come out of Washington State. I would agree with that.
Excuse me, are you drinking wine right now on this podcast?
Wow.
Are you drinking on this show?
This is my business now.
Where are you right now?
No, I'm working. So you guys get on here and talk shit for work. I drink wine for work. So, I'm actually, you caught me in the middle of a
this
work
explains
day.
your completion percentage. I bet you were drinking up a storm when you showed up back then.
Yeah, great point, Paulie.
57%.
That's what was in the Gatorade bottles. I had some Cabernet in the Gatorade bottles on the side.
I didn't know Gatorade made a Pinot.
Yeah, maybe a little less Merlot. You would have had a higher passer rating.
You probably saw eight of those receivers there. All right. Well,
That's totally fair, but anybody can play sober. Let's just call it what it is. If you can take the field and play when you're a little bit hammered, that's a badge of respect.
He's making jokes,
typical.
Paulie.
You're making excuses for yourself here. That's what you do. But
that's fair.
Yeah, talking about excuses, people you got injured, but really, outplayed by Tom Brady, right? That's why you lost your job there. Let's go into that because we've always wanted to ask you, are you familiar with the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding situation there?
Did you ever think that maybe Tom Brady, Jeff Gillooly You?
Yeah.
I think he might have been in cahoots with Mo Lewis.
Mo Lewis, who put the hit on you. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I need you to legit kill this guy so that I can get on the field. And
we saw Tom Brady. You see the film; he's winking.
He came really close. Yeah, no, I think you guys are onto something.
Did you ever try to prosecute him, take him to court? There should be an
investigation. I think I was taken out on purpose.
Oh, well, there you go, people. This is huge breaking news.
There you go. Journalism. Good journalism, Paulie.
I think he might be 3 sheets to the wind because I think that's probably his 8th glass of wine. So who knows here what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Here.
Well, it's afternoon. It's well afternoon, and you can't drink wine all day unless you start in the morning. We know that.
All right, this is getting a little too serious here.
Yeah, let's bring it back in, Paulie.
All right, we'll deal with your personal problems off air. Let's just talk about something that's maybe a little complex for you because, I don't know how clearly you're thinking right now. But do you think, I've always wanted to ask you, you seem to have a little bitterness about you there. Do you think you have a chip on your shoulder because a lot of teams dumped you for a better QB? Patriots for Tom Brady, Cowboys for Romo, much better than you. Bills for Ryan Fitzpatrick, long, terrific career. Tony, just tell him your theory. Listen to this, Drew. Listen.
Yeah. Drew, have you ever seen the movie Dane Cook, Good Luck Chuck? In that movie, which is terrific, Dane Cook plays a guy who he dates women, and the women wind up meeting their husbands after dumping him. Would you say then that you're kind of the Good Luck Chuck of the NFL?
Terrifically put, though.
Well, first of all, I haven't seen that movie.
It's a great movie. That's on you.
Yeah, you're right. I think you might be one of 7 people that actually saw that movie. But that's good.
You're insulting Dane Cook.
Disrespectful.
That's good numbers for Dane Cook, though. You might be onto something. They bring me in. I'm sort of the setup guy to get these guys ready to go, and then then I go to the hospital or have a bad game, and then you might be onto something.
See, this is what we're trying. See, on this show we give professional career advice. So maybe you're thinking maybe this is a good lane for you. Don't you think a team should sign you, right, and then dump you so then they can find their much better QB? Wouldn't that be like a selling point for you? You could still pull off.
You could still come back.
Yeah, that'd be great, especially with what quarterbacks are making these days. They sign me for. For a 10, 12, 50, I don't know what these, $30-40 million, and then you can fire me right away.
A little overpaid for you.
I think you'll be paid in wine. They'll pay you in wine.
Exactly.
That'd be well spent for these guys. I think you guys
exactly.
That done.
He's taking another sip here, Tony. I can't judge.
Wow, very unprofessional.
I think he might pass out at any point here. We better
get the rest
Let's get to another topic here. As we go through some of the mistakes you've made in your career and you failed to obviously admit, though. You were very young coming out of college, weren't you? Probably too young, actually.
Yeah, way too young.
The youngest QB ever to play in the Pro Bowl, which just shows you more proof that you were way too young, didn't really belong. Yeah. Do you think that worked against you? Because let me ask you this. You look at Georgia QB Stetson Bennett, right? He's 25. He's experienced.
Perfect
unlike
age.
You. When he gets to the league, he's going to be ready to dominate. So, looking back, don't you think maybe you should have stayed in college a little longer so you'd be better in the NFL and college too, where you weren't that great?
Yeah, probably should have. I think it was my 8th year. We played against the Carolina Panthers against Chris Winkie, who had won the Heisman the year before.
Yeah,
quarterback.
He was a rookie, and I was in my 8th year. So obviously he had a lot more experience before he broke into the NFL. And I did celebrate my 21st birthday at Hooters in Indianapolis at the scouting combine, though. So that was obviously a magical time in life. Anytime you can spend time at
That's
Hooters
the wine talking, Paulie.
Yeah, he's playing it.
No, it's special. I'm sure it's, there is that. I got to experience that.
Who won the game between you and Winkie? Stay on subject. Stop getting distracted with your restaurant choices.
Pretty sure we won. I think it might even have been a preseason game. I'm not, so
you left out that key detail.
Exactly. You're trying to put down Chris Winkie.
You think
the
you won
great
the game.
Chris Winkie.
As he takes, ladies and gentlemen, sip number 49 in this interview. You know what? I just don't get that you're serious here. So let's just put it on the line here. Let's just see if you can be a man and talk straight. You look at Gardner Minshew and you look at yourself. Wouldn't you admit that Gardner Minshew's the better QB, the best quarterback to come out of Washington State and possibly the entire Pac-12? Come on, save some face here and just admit it for everyone.
Yeah, no, I think I might actually have to agree with you. I mean, Gardner's, with the body of work he's put together in his young career. But I also think, he did have the benefit of going to, he got to play for 3 different colleges. So he had a lot of experience, coming out of the league. So
how many colleges did you play for?
Yeah.
I only one. And
was that because you weren't in as high demand as Gardner Minshew?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wanted him.
Yeah.
So just admit,
they wanted me. I had to get out of there after 2.5 years because no other colleges wanted me.
There you go. And you want to know why? Because you were too young. So just admit it.
Yep.
Say, I was too young and I should have stayed in college till I was 25 like Stetson Bennett. Go.
I should have. I could have, then I could have come out of school with my doctorate. And then I wouldn't even have had to play football.
See, now he's just joking. You know what? You want to come on the show like it's wine time, like you're with the ladies at 5 p.m.
Yeah,
well, guess what happens when you do that?
Guess what, Drew?
You're going to be whining because you're getting kicked off the show.
We're kicking you off the show. Guess what? Put yourself another one.
Be a better guest. You're terrible.
Yeah,
you're terrible.
Because you're off the show.
I have nothing to say to you guys.
Get him off the line.
Jay, get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Is he gone? Is he off the line?
Hang up the phone.
Tony, that being there with the wine, it kind of reminded me of the movie Sideways. Long, boring, and just lots of drinking.
Yeah, it's no good luck, Chuck. For sure.
Well, that's for sure. Great point there.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, let's just not let that distract us from what's really going on this show, Tony. The better side. Our ratings are so huge that we got sponsor after sponsor just clamoring for ad
They're lining
space.
up.
So that's why we're going to do a little business right now. A word from today's sponsor, a big name in the area of home entertainment, Magnavox. Are you in the market for a new brand of TV? Why? Just go get a Magnavox.
Yeah, if you didn't know that Magnavox was still in business and making TVs, well, that's on you, bro.
Magnavox. Still making TVs despite what anyone may have told you otherwise. Visit Magnavox.com and type in the promo code Paulie and Tony #1 Terrific Show for half off your shipping within 12 miles. Magnavox. Okay, well, there we go. That about wraps up our show, Tony. And if on the subject of business, it's someone who should mind their business. Producer Jay, what?
Corrections.
Go, hurry up, what?
Yeah, go.
You said you think more colleges should follow Georgia's lead and start quarterbacks who are 25 years old?
Yeah, it's called having experience, something you know nothing about.
No. Most 25-year-old athletes are ineligible to play college sports, even if you redshirt them.
Oh, yeah? Well, good news. You're eligible for an ass kicking.
Yeah, you're going to have a red shirt after I punch you in the nose. Yeah, that's it. We're done.
Good one, Tony.
No.
Good one, Tony.
Yeah.
Second.
What?
Second.
Hurry up. What?
You said Gardner Minshew is the best quarterback to come out of Washington State.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah, hands down.
You do realize Drew Bledsoe was a #1 overall pick out of Washington State, who led the Patriots to a Super Bowl appearance. So the answer is clearly Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, yeah? Well, Bledsoe is going to be your official cause of death.
Yeah, as in our producer died because he bled so much after I ran him over with my car. Yeah,
Great one, Tony.
Done.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's it. We're done.
All right,
No
that's it.
more.
Enough
Finish.
of
No,
Enough.
last one.
What?
Go.
Last one.
What?
You said Nick Foles should sue the Colts because their offensive line is bad, and that's why he got injured?
Yup.
Yeah, absolutely. Terrible.
Yeah.
No. I'm pretty sure there are clauses in NFL contracts that prevent a quarterback from suing his team.
Oh, yeah? Well, you should check your contract with us. Start by looking in the trash.
Yeah. There's a clause in your contract. It says you suck. Yeah.
Good one, Tony. There you go.
Yeah,
All right, look at him.
he's sad.
Yeah, he can't handle the truth there. All
Yup,
right,
he's
well,
done.
look. Yeah, we went out on a nice positive note there. Turned it around. So, and here's an even better one. We're just talking about Nick Foles. Well, guess who's coming on the show next week, Tony? Just booked. Now he's got some free time. Guaranteed to be here. Nick Foles, Super Bowl
Wow,
hero,
that's
Eagles
great
legend.
news, Paulie.
And, hey, don't forget to follow us on our many platforms. You
Yup.
listen to this show audio-wise on Fox Sports Radio, then go watch it on YouTube, TikTok, all around. In
We're
the
all
meantime,
over.
great job, Tony.
Same to you, Paulie. Another flawless show.
There you go. We'll see you people next week. Bye.
See ya.